And here we go. Hold on. Let me stop this. Sorry, guys. Loaded up the wrong soundboard. Okay. Here we go for real this time.
Coming to you from the Black Swan Media Studios, this is Fireside Chats, talking to the real difference makers in the world. Now, here is your host, John Crump.
And we are live. Welcome to 201. Wow, we broke 200. That is incredible. Fireside Chats with me, John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist. I investigate the ATF, FBI, and all the other agencies that want to violate your rights to bear arms and organizations. We are brought to you by Tusk. Tusk is the only cryptocurrency on the market designed for the firearms world.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And we also sponsored by Black Swan Tactical. Black Swan Tactical is my t-shirt shop.
Black Swan Tactical, your number one source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code CRUMPY. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
Thank you so much. And you can also help me do what I do at patreon.com/John Crump. All right. Today's guest is someone who has the coolest job in the freaking world, and you're going to find out about it. I really wish I had his job. Hello to Mr. FNH, G-Webs, Chris Shoemake, Flying Ridge, MKJO, Space Texan, Swamp Dog Armory, Stephen Crumbly, and everyone else out there. So let me go ahead and bring on my guest. His name is Glenn Fleming of Drive Tanks.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. First question I have to get out before we ask anything else. How the hell do you get a working tank? Because these aren't demilled tanks, right?
Well, they all started off demilled, and then it's a process of finding a good barrel, a good breech ring, and the good parts, and then just mating them together and making a good gun out of it. The tank itself is just a bill of sale. It's a tractor. It's no big deal. When you put a gun on it, the gun is the thing that carries the DD paperwork.
Yeah, the destructive device NFA items.
Yeah,
which is amazing. All right. So let's back up a little bit. You were on a TV show, Sons of Guns. We're not really going to talk about that too much. Cool. Everyone knows that there's not much really to talk about. The only thing I really do want to talk about is from the show is how much of the stuff is scripted and how much of the stuff isn't.
Oh, it's mostly scripted. Having said that, it's not like a script like, Glenn, you're going to say, hey, I hate my job, blah, 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 blah. It's more like, Glenn, you have this guy and you're mad at him for this reason, go. So you kind of use your own dialogue. They don't give you dialogue for the most part. But, I mean, it's all, they have to have drama. So, of course, they build drama into it and all that stuff. And there you go.
Yeah, I guess it'd be pretty boring if they don't. I actually saw them filming a episode of The Real Housewives of the Potomac near my house, and they were basically doing the same thing. Saying, "Okay, you argue with her. All right, cut. Let's
Yeah,
do a
yeah.
little bit more emotion." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly, man. Because I mean, I'm not an actor. I'm not. I suck at it. So I'm pretty flat. But I just kind of do my thing, you know. I don't want to be somebody I'm not. That's not what I'm about.
Yeah, there. Somebody says they remember you from the TV show, and you came off as an awesome guy.
Oh,
Before I
thank you.
forget, I forgot to do this. The Rogue Banshee sent me a little patch.
That's
Pretty
cool.
nice. Yeah, this is a little symbol. You have a great YouTube channel. All right, so let's get back into the tanks because that's what I really want to talk to you about. All right, do you own drive tanks or?
Oh God, no. Oh no, I don't want that kind of overhead. Oh no. That's Jay right over there. So,
Hi, Jay.
How you doing?
no,
Hey.
I come nowhere close to owning this, nor do I want to. I'm actually the gunsmith out here for drive tanks. If it shoots, I work on it, and I'm also the gunsmith for the Ox Ranch. So I do all their client guns, all their ranch guns, stuff like that.
How'd you get an awesome job at drive tanks?
Well, after I left the show, I started my own shop. And while I had my own shop, I was working I was building machine guns for a company named Paradigm SRP that has a gyro stabilized sniper platform. And one day they called me up and they're like, "Hey man, we want a tank for the Ox Ranch, just for the owner to screw around on." So I found him a Sherman and went out and checked it out for him, and it was a good tank, all for fresh restoration. Came back, said, "Hey man, buy the tank, buy the tank." So they did. And it was out here and they were just running around on it. And the hunters out here were like, "Well, shit, I'll pay you money to do that." So that was kind of a light bulb moment. They started buying more tanks. And eventually I got tired of being the boss because being the boss kind of sucks, especially of a retail gun shop. And they made me an offer and here I am.
Yeah. Is there any gunsmithing assistant or apprentice opportunities out at drive tanks?
No, not right now. But I mean, you never know what the future holds.
Yeah, there is a bunch of people that would like to work. I mean, that has to be a dream job. Well, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go work on a tank.
Yeah, it's a cool job. I mean, as far as working on the tanks, it's not my favorite thing to do because, like a breech ring, we put a breech ring in the Walker Bulldog. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And you got to get the breech ring through a little hatch that's about 1.5 feet wide, 2 foot wide circle, and the breech ring. So then you got to manhandle it onto the chamber end of the barrel and screw it on or interrupted lugs, whichever it does. And then you got to connect everything. And it's kind of a pain in the ass, to be quite honest with you.
Do you get to test fire it after you get done?
Yeah. I test. As a general rule, anything I mess with, I tend to test fire because if it blows up, it's on me as opposed to somebody else.
I would be saying, "Oh, I need to test fire it again and again."
No. Once is enough. Well, it depends on the gun. I mean, some guns you want to develop a load for them. So, like I don't know, a tank gun. You put a breech ring on, get a good barrel on it, hook up all the recuperator or the return assemblies, and then just hook it all up. Then you have to build up a load because you're not finding factory loads. It's just they don't exist.
You mean
So
you
you
can't go down to the gun shop and buy tank loads?
No, you're not getting a tank shell at Walmart. That's for sure.
Okay. All
So
right,
once you have that done, you kind of read a bunch of stuff, estimate what your load is going to be depending on your propellant charge, what kind of propellant you're using, and also the weight of your projectile. In the case of the Sherman, we shoot a 15-pound projectile with about 2 pounds of artillery powder behind it.
Wow, that's a lot.
Hmm.
G-Webs, gun websites have a pretty big YouTube channel. If it exists, what's the best thing about driving tanks that no one thinks about? But is it really the best part?
Oh, well, you're not going to get stuck. I mean, you can just smash the hell out of anything that's in front of you, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, just driving a tank is, some of the tanks are like real iconic. A Sherman T-34, little Scorpion tank, stuff like that. It's just kind of really cool to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, back in World War II, they used to name the Shermans and the
Yeah,
other tanks.
we've given names to most of our tanks.
That was my question.
Yeah.
So you keep up the tradition of doing
Oh
it?
yeah. Our main Sherman, the M4A2E8 Easy 8 Sherman, we named that Easy Eva. The other Sherman we have, we named Cobra King.
Cobra King. Why
yeah.
Cobra King?
Historically, it kind of fits in.
Okay.
It's a jumbo type Sherman. So the T-34, we have some rather colorful names for that I'm not going to go into right now.
Yeah. So how many tanks do you guys have out there?
Say again?
How many tanks do you guys have out there?
I think we have in the neighborhood of 12 to 14 vehicles, something like that.
That is amazing. And I'm also hearing that you guys have more than just tanks.
Oh yeah. We got a full entourage of machine guns, artillery, up to and including 152 millimeter D20 Russian D20.
That's a big artillery piece.
Well, it's a huge artillery piece. The shell, when it's all together being loaded, weighs about 75 pounds. Just the projectile is 47 pounds. It's really neat though. My personal favorite gun out here is the PAC-40. It's a 75 millimeter anti-tank gun, German World War II, and it's got a brake on it, so all the concussion comes right back at you, and you're pretty close to the end of the barrel. When you shoot, you're probably about 8 to 10 feet away. So when you shoot it, it's like being kicked in the chest. It's really, really neat.
That's really, really awesome. I was supposed to go out there last January for the gun.
Oh yeah.
But my niece, she got really, really sick. So
that sucks.
She has passed since, but she had brain cancer.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. It is what it is. But so I couldn't go because that was definitely more important. But I plan to get out there. Guns and Barbecue wants to know what is the coolest gun build project that you have ever done or ever been involved in?
Let me think. I built a KPV here lately. That was really cool. I never thought I'd get the chance to do that. I like building MG34s, even though they're a complete pain in the ass. I'm building up a Dishka right now, which is pretty cool.
That's nice.
There's this, honestly, I've built a whole hell of a lot of shit, man. I really have. So it's kind of hard to pick out one particular favorite thing. I think probably for me, most people know I build MG42s, and that's kind of the one that was my first machine gun build, and that's kind of what started everything for me. So they got a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah. Another question from the audience. Everyone has questions today. Usually it's just me. Any stories from learning gunsmithing? Any advice for new gunsmiths?
Yeah, man, the biggest thing that I see with gunsmiths that are new, and this is really any profession where you work with your hands, the thing they're kind of scared of is they get an expensive item and they're afraid to take it apart. They're afraid to do something with it because they're afraid to screw it up. You can't really be afraid of screwing it up. You just got to get into it and fix it. That's why you're doing what you're doing.
Nice.
Being nervous about that, it's a human thing. I mean, if you're not nervous about it, you're kind of weird. Like if somebody brings in a $100,000 post sample minigun and or a $300,000 transferable minigun, you can't be afraid to work on it. You gotta delve into it and see what's up and fix the thing.
Yeah, and you guys have miniguns out there.
Yeah, we do.
That must be insanely expensive to fire them right now.
Well, that's the quickest way to turn money into noise there is. I mean, minigun's a cool little gun. It's neat, man. It's neat. It's a rush.
Yeah, that is awesome. Do you like MG42s because of Dave Defeat back in the day? Because that's why King started getting into guns. I'm not sure what Dave Defeat is.
No, I'm not sure about that either. I like the 42 just because it's a pretty simple gun. It's a beautiful gun. It looks really nice. And what it started, before that, it was all machining processes, heavier guns, real expensive to build. And the 42 kind of turned that around as far as the general purpose machine guns.
Yeah, they're stamped, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much all stamped. I mean, they do have machining on it, of course, but the receiver is all just one stamped piece. I think there was I have a book on it, so don't quote me on this. I'm probably wrong. I think it was like 8 machining or 8 stamping operations to build the receivers. It was just, flat piece of metal, ka-chunk, 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 and in the end, you got a MG42 receiver.
I gotcha. All right. It was from a Half-Life mod, they're telling me.
Oh,
a video game.
I'm not a video
MG42 was from
guy.
a video game.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not a video game guy, so I wouldn't even know, man.
Yeah. Have you heard of a micro gun?
Yeah, I work on it occasionally. It's owned by friends of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Swamp Dog was asking about it.
Yeah, 5.56 micro gun. It's produced by a company called Empty Shell. They were out here a couple weeks ago, and I was messing with it.
Now, what is it exactly?
It's a mini gun, but it's in 5.56, and it's, instead of being about 4 foot long, it's actually about 1.5 feet long, and it's handheld. You can hold it and shoot it, unlike a traditional minigun.
You mean you're not gonna like take a minigun like Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator?
No, that's all. Everybody who's doing that, that's all blank firing. You're not gonna fire a minigun with live ammo like that.
Yeah.
It'll twist you up, and the recoil is pretty impressive. So,
yeah. Another question: what is your carry gun?
I have a Ruger LCR.
Are you a big fan of Rugers?
Some of them, yeah. I like the Blackhawks. I like the wheel guns, And the LCR is really light, and 38 special packs a good little punch. And I can put it in my pocket. I don't have to worry about it getting snagged on anything like that. But mostly I put it in the holster. But I'm just saying, So I really like the gun, mostly because how light it is. I'm a big fan of light guns.
Yeah, I sometimes carry a Airweight, Smith & Wesson Airweight.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Because it's very light. It's a 38 special. I'm a big wheel gun guy, and I'm a big guy for lever action guns as well.
Yeah, I like lever. I don't own one right now, which makes me sad, but I do like the lever actions. I used to have a Winchester 94 and 375. That was a cool gun, man.
That's a very cool gun.
Yeah.
My favorite gun that I have is my Henry 410 side loader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are cool, man. Those are cool.
It has like the brass receiver and everything.
Yeah. I think probably my next wheel gun is going to be something like, I'm not sure who I'm going to get manufacturer wise, but it's going to be something in 45 long Colt, and I want the big loop lever on it. Just 16-inch barrel, which I'll probably cut. I'm not sure.
You're gonna cut it down and do the Terminator.
No, not that small. But I want to do the John Wayne spin.
The John Wayne spin.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Swamp Dog wants to know. He is building a Stinger. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a World War II. It's also called the Franken gun. It's a World War II gun. It's like a BAR 1919.
The huge long 1919. Yeah. A6, I think, is what it was.
Yeah. Oh wait, it's a pretty cool gun.
They are
building. Yeah. So yeah, they are a very cool gun. I love them. They're like my favorite gun of all time.
Tell you what, you got to work out to hold one though. Those things are heavy, man.
I bet they are. I'm never gonna probably carry it. So Swamp Dog Armory his real name is Cody Slocum, and he is a descendant of the guy who created the 1863 Slocum revolver.
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Another question: have you ever worked on a Canuck, and what do you think of them?
A Canuck? Oh, Canuck. No, I've never worked on one actually. I never had one come by the shop when I owned it, and there's really no opportunity to work on one out here. So I've never even shot one, so I don't really have an opinion on them. I've just never messed with them. I've heard they were okay though.
Yeah. So Out of all the tanks and all the vehicles you
Mhm.
got out there, how big is your drive tanks?
You mean as far as people wise,
No,
or?
I'm talking about like size of the actual property because you got a
Oh,
lot of tanks out
well,
there to drive.
we're located on the Ox Ranch, which is an 18,000 acre exotic game ranch, and we take up probably 100 acres of it, something like that. If that much, probably a little less than 100 acres.
And you just go drive around also.
Pretty much.
What's the price of emission to drive tanks? Do
Oh,
you charge?
there's no price to come in. I mean, you can, well, let me rephrase that. If you want to schedule a museum tour with just a tour, it's like $25 a head, and you come in, we'll give you a tour for an hour, and you can check stuff out. You can stay a little later than an hour, of course, take pictures, get in the vehicles, whatever you want. We are a museum, we're an accredited museum, but the difference between us and regular museums is you can come out here and touch stuff. You can twirl around on the 37 millimeter anti-aircraft gun we got, stuff like that. Having said that, price wise, it varies depending on what you want to do. We got a bunch of stuff to do, so it's kind of hard to go into that.
Yeah, I bet, especially with ammo prices now, especially on the minigun and stuff like that, that probably went up a little bit.
Well, we haven't changed our ammo prices yet because we have a big stockpile of it. Now, having said that, I anticipate ammo prices to stay high for quite a while. So eventually we will have to raise our ammo prices. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah,
So.
I'm pretty certain you probably will too. I don't think we're any. I know some people are saying, "Oh, there's light at the end of the tunnel."
No,
I just don't see it right now.
I don't either. I think we'll maybe see light at the end of the tunnel in about a year, maybe. And of course, that all depends on politics, and everybody's getting nervous about politics and panic buying and stuff like that. So it's going to be quite a while before we see ammo prices come down. And even when we do, they won't come down to the level they were before. It'll be somewhere between where it is now and where it was.
Yeah, I agree. I heard that. I know the distributors are paying more, but I also heard that the ammo companies are paying more for the raw materials. Actually,
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's just like everything else. If I go out and buy some steel to weld on, it's more expensive than it used to be. Hell, plywood is stupid expensive right now.
Yeah.
All the basic materials have gone up in price. I mean, just like gas and everything else. So they have to unfortunately push that extra price onto the consumer, which is us. And, there you go.
Yeah, we're building a patio with a fire pit and everything. And right now, just to get the paver stones, it's like a 90-day wait.
Yeah. It's I'm not sure what the root cause of all that is, but whatever it is, I wish it would stop.
Yeah, like a year ago, or a couple years ago, it was like like 1 week you would order it and you would get it in the next day. But now they're saying 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
For the same thing that they used to be able to get in 6 to 8 days.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's just it's a reality. We have to deal with it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're right.
And I've never gotten this many questions for someone before, so you should be honored. What's your opinion on bullpups?
I am not a bullpup guy. I'm sure they're great. I know a lot of people love them to death. I just can't get used to the weight distribution of them, so I'm not a big guy on bullpups.
Really?
Yeah. Just any gun, I pick it up and it starts leaning backwards like that. I can't deal with that. It's just not my thing, Now, having said that, there are some mechanically good bullpups out there. I just don't like the weight distribution. And I'm more of if I was going to go when I was in the military and I was doing stuff, the M4 fit the bill really well because it's ergonomically damn near perfect. The weight distribution is great, and it's just a good little round and a great gun. So I was used to that. So getting used to a bullpup just kind of weirds me out,
Yeah. G-Web wants to know if he was looking for a tank to go in around town and running errands and commuting to work, which model tank would he get for the best gas mileage?
Scorpion. The
Scorpion.
British Scorpion FV 101, I think is what it is. But it's a British Scorpion. It has a 76 millimeter low velocity gun on it. Pretty cool little tank. It's fast and get up to about 50, 55 miles an hour. Rubber tracks, so you can run it on the road. You're not going to tear the road up. And Jaguar gasoline engine in it. So it's a pretty cool little tank for running around town. When we went to did a trade show in Dallas for the Dallas Safari Club, and when it was finished, I had to bring the tank over to the truck to load it, and I actually got to drive the tank down downtown Dallas for probably about 10 blocks, which was kind of cool.
That must be really cool.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
I remember going to a Storm Victory Parade in D.C., like right outside D.C., and those tanks tore up the roads.
Yeah. I mean, there's metal tracks completely trash a road. They really do. And even to a certain extent, rubber tracks, they're designed for road work. But if you start slewing around and turning and stuff, it'll still screw up a road.
Yeah. Okay. Another question from the audience. They're making my job easy today.
Oh, you froze a little bit. What was the question?
I said another question from the audience. They're making my job easy today, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Have you guys thought about getting a Ripsaw?
I think that's that fast little civilian tank thing, right?
Yeah, they had it in Fast and Furious.
Nah, no guns on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's I mean, they look fun though.
Oh, they'd probably be cool.
Everything has to have a gun on it.
Yeah, everything has to have a gun on it. I mean, at the very least, well, yeah, it has to have a gun on it.
Okay. Do you keep ballistic data on the tank projectiles?
We do, as far as load data. We don't keep velocity data because we haven't found anything that we can actually record velocity with a tank yet.
Do you keep data on the grouping, like if you fired multiple shots?
No, not so much the grouping, because we shoot at cars, and we hit the car and it goes in one side and goes out the other and buries about 4 foot into the dirt, right? Depending on the load, depending on the round.
You're making me jealous.
Well, no, but also tanks aren't minute of angle; they're minute of tank. They're designed to shoot big things as opposed to little small things. So there's a lot of diversion in your tank round. Sometimes it goes here, sometimes it goes here, and that's acceptable because it would still hit a tank.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are all the tanks out there? Are any of them still demilled?
Yeah, a couple of them. The Leopards, we have a 1A4 and 4A5s. Those are all demilled because we haven't found any breech rings for it. We do have the cut breech rings and cut barrels. Or the barrels aren't cut; they drill a hole in them or cut a hole in them. But welding up a barrel and welding up a breech ring on a tank is pretty damn dangerous. So we don't do that. With any artillery, we don't re-weld breech rings or barrels.
Yeah, that would probably turn into another RN50 incident if you did.
Yeah, it would be bad. It might hold for a little while, but it wouldn't hold forever.
What's the pressures inside the barrel?
I don't know. I have no idea, dude.
I've seen it in
books. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I've seen it in books before, but I frankly don't remember what they are.
Yeah, they have to be insanely high. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that can be very dangerous. Stuff back together.
Weight is 62,000 rounds, something, or 62,000 pounds, somewhere around that. Man, a tank shooting a 15-pound solid projectile, with 2 pounds of powder, it's going to be significant.
Yeah, how long have you been out there for?
A little over 4 years.
A little over 4 years. Mm-hmm. Wow. That sounds. I mean, I want that job where I can go work on tanks and just fire tanks.
It's not bad. It really is. It's got some really cool points to it. Plus, you know, most of the people, the vast majority of the people who come through here to do tank stuff are really cool. So that's nice. We don't get too many, you know, butt heads out here.
Yeah. The person that's been begging me to get you on is somebody you know, Hank Strange.
Oh yeah, I know him real well. Good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He keeps on telling me I need to get you on the show.
Ta-da! Here I am.
So there you are. So I can go tell him, and he's not even in the audience today. What's up with that? Yeah, so he's been out there, and a lot of people that I know have been out there, and they just rave about how cool Drive Tanks is.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
And you guys host some private events as well.
Yeah, once in a while. Like you said a little while ago, we hosted the Gundies when they were out here in January. That was a fun time, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of influencers and stuff like that. I've seen Donut Operator. I've seen a lot of YouTubers come through.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of YouTube guys, a lot of Instagram guys come through.
Okay, so is there anything with tracks in a gun that would be considered? Anything with tracks? So is anything with tracks in a gun considered a tank? Okay, I got it. Is anything with tracks with a gun considered a tank, or is there a specific classification for a tank?
Not really. I mean, tanks are armored vehicles. You also have like tracked self-propelled guns, which are open top traditionally. They're not as armored as a tank is. You got, let's say you got like a little Bradley fighting vehicle with a 25 millimeter on it, and it's a tracked vehicle. It's not really a tank. It's more of an APC. So it's just having tracks and a gun don't really make it a tank.
Yeah, the Bradleys, don't they have like a little camera gun where they operate the gun via camera?
I think so. If I'm not mistaken, it's like the Crows system or something like that.
Yeah, it is. I think that's like the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Another question. After all the years of experience, including everything from the smallest projectile to the largest ordinances, what is your favorite caliber and why?
I like 8 millimeter. Because I'm a MG42, MG34 guy, so I like 8 millimeter. Having said that, it's pretty much a dead round. There's not many people making Full Metal Jacket 8 millimeter anymore, which makes me sad. But I like that, and I also like the 4570. That's a cool round. Just shoot it and it kind of lobs over. It takes a second or two to get to wherever you're hitting. But my favorite round is probably the 375 Holland because there's so much history in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of history. Gun websites does a lot of 2A history and history of different guns and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I don't hunt, and I have a nice little 375 Holland I built. I've actually built like 3 of them so far, but I only have 1 right now.
Yeah, I don't hunt either, but I have some hunting rifles.
Yeah, same.
I like doing long range shooting.
I don't have the patience for it. And anymore, I don't really shoot my own stuff too much. I mean, I shoot machine guns damn near every day. Fix something, go test fire it, and bring it back. But I go home and I'm like, I just want to watch TV. And when I'm off work, I always have stuff to do. So I don't get the opportunity to shoot my guns too much anymore, which isn't a bad thing because ammo prices suck. So.
Yeah. You know how many people you just made jealous in the audience by saying that you fire machine guns every day so much that when you go home, you don't want to fire machine guns anymore?
Well, after a while, anything you do is just like, okay, shoot machine guns.
Yeah, it is. So, COVID, how has that affected Drive Tanks?
Our business dropped immensely because of that. Having said that, we never really required masks or any social distancing BS or any of that kind of crap. If you want to wear a mask and you come down here, knock yourself out, wear a mask. Me, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to be happy and breathing. So we lost a lot of business just because people weren't traveling anymore. But I mean, it's starting to pick back up again now, so it's cool.
Is Drive Tanks like a destination vacation spot? where people come
Yeah,
from all
yeah.
around the country,
Oh yeah, they come from all around the world, or at
all
least
around the world.
we don't get too many world travelers right now because COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have cabins out here. We have the barracks out here that you can stay at. So it's like just with artillery.
No, that is really cool. Christian Rick says it's his life goal to have that feeling that, I don't want to shoot machine guns anymore. I've been shooting them all day. Yeah, that is that is awesome. So what is the plans going forward for the future of drive tanks?
We're always getting new stuff in, so we're pretty much held off on buying new stuff right now, just because we're waiting on, for lack of a better term, things to get back to normal. But we'll be expanding and improving and just doing more stuff.
Yeah. And you guys already said you're on the Ox Ranch.
Yeah.
How many animals do they have out there? Like you said, it's a exotic hunting ranch.
Yeah. They have over 80 different species. I think they kind of estimate that there's about 10,000 animals on the ranch.
Wow, and 80 different species from around the world, or
Oh yeah. We got, like, for example, giraffes, impala, rhinos, wildebeest, springbok, black buck. You name it, we got it pretty much. The only thing we don't have is predators.
well, that is that is really really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Everybody who works here at the Drive Tanks lives on ranch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can wake up, let your dog out, and there's a freaking giraffe in your front yard or something. It's pretty neat.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So you can wake up. So everyone lives on the ranch then.
Yeah, everybody who works here at Drive Tanks. There's a total of 6 of us.
Oh, that's cool. So like room is included in your pay, or do you pay rent, or is that
No, it's included. It's in the middle of nowhere. We're 30 minutes from the nearest town, and the nearest town is about this big. So it's and we keep weird hours, so it behooves us to be out here, especially me, because like I'll be off, and if I'm on ranch and I'm off work, I'll have my radio on me. They may call me on, hey man, I don't know, minigun screwed up. You need to come fix it. Something like that.
I heard the minigun. I'm not sure. I've never really messed with the minigun too much, but I heard they have a tendency to jam if you.
No, I mean, well, it
through.
depends on what you do. If you, a little background on me, I was a helicopter gunner for about 10 years, and my primary weapon systems were the minigun and the 50 cal, the AC version. So I probably have like close to 1 million rounds to a minigun, right? So the minigun, if you don't feed it right in the feeder, which was a big issue with the MAU 56s, the older GE feeders, you're going to have a jam every time. With the Dillons, that kind of alleviated that. They have the door. You just open the door, put your round in there, boom, you're pretty much done. Now, if you're on the minigun, you have 2 buttons, right? Some of them have dual rotation. Like you have 2,000, 4,000, but most of them are just 3,000 on both buttons. So if I'm hitting the button and I'm going 3,000, the rounds are coming through and they're delinking in the delinking feeder. And if I do, my links stretch. So if I have stretch links, then I'm going to have a jam in the feeder. But if I just go and everything's working right, man, it's going to run great.
Yeah, because that's what I heard. If you start like hitting the buttons, and I wasn't really sure why.
Yeah, it stretches the links out down the chute. If you have a booster motor on your ammo chute, that's not really that big a problem, or as big a problem. But if you don't run a booster motor, which we don't need one, your links will stretch out eventually, and then instead, the feeder has little fingers like this that grab the rounds like that, and if they're stretched out, then your feeder's going to jam on those rounds, and it actually stabs the round, pierces them, you get powder everywhere. It's kind of a mess.
Nice. G-Web wants to know, is there any laws to prevent the animals from getting the keys to the tanks? He believes that we need new laws to do that.
No. If a Impala wants to drive a tank, man, he's more than welcome. Hell, I'll show him how to do it.
And Space Texan says he's imagining a giraffe head sticking out of a Sherman.
Yeah, right.
That should be your logo.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Giraffe head sticking out of a Sherman. Now, on the rant with the exotic animals, can people hunt those?
Yeah, the majority of them. There are some species that are off limits, giraffes, rhinos, stuff like that.
About the other animals, the impalas and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they can hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Because you're talking about like rhinos, and I know you're not really allowed to hunt those.
Yeah, if you try and hunt a rhino, I'm pretty sure more than the ranch is going to smack your pee on that. I'm pretty sure it's illegal as hell.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, rhinos that is a no to hunt them because they're endangered. So you guys are actually helping in the conservation effort.
Oh yeah. We got 2 male rhinos right now. We're waiting on a female. As soon as a female comes in, they're going to start. Well, the rhinos are actually going to start their own breeding program. So that'll be pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that'll be kind of neat.
Yeah. What do you guys do on-site meat processing on the ranch portion?
They do it to a limited amount. Usually what they do is when they shoot an animal, they'll skin it out here or, gut it, and then they'll send it to like Uvalde meat processing. And that's where they do the majority of the butchering or processing, I guess.
Yeah. Somebody wants to know how many minigun rounds does the ranch have at any given time?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. If you're willing to share. A lot is enough. Close enough. What type of weapon systems break down the most in your experience there?
The STG-44 is just a huge thorn in my side.
I love STG-44.
Yeah, but the problem is the springs go dead on it. 70-year-old springs. The new springs aren't quite up to snuff with it. So your extraction, sometimes your rounds go into space. Sometimes they drop down. Sometimes they don't leave the gun at all on your extractor spring, So that's just a huge thorn in my side.
Yeah, STG-44s is one of my favorite guns, and I got the chance to fire one out in Vegas.
What else? Anything suppressed is kind of a pain in the butt because they just get dirtier quicker than the other guns. So you got to give them more attention. That's really about it. I mean, yeah, that's about it. The rest of the stuff it breaks when it breaks, so it isn't too often. It's just we shoot the piss out of them, and things break.
Have you ever thought about mounting a minigun on a giraffe?
I don't think the giraffe would take kindly to that.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, I've never get this many questions, and people are just peppering with questions. Have you ever seen a factory gun that you were impressed with the machining of the parts? What firearms would come to mind? Like factory gun, are you really impressed with the machining of any? Or if any?
There's so many. I mean, right off the bat, it's an older gun, but MG34, the machining on it's just amazing. It's astounding. From what I understand, they had a 2-story machine that they'd put an ingot in and it would work its way down and come out an MG34 receiver, or most of an MG34 receiver. So that's, if you look at it, just the attention to detail and the skill it took to build something like that when you didn't have CNC stuff was really, really impressive.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I those guns are really impressive, especially from like the era that they was done in.
Yeah, exactly. There's no fancy CNC stuff, man. It was all by hand.
Yeah. What is the smallest thing you ever hit with the tank round? With the anti-tank gun?
Anti-tank gun, a bowling ball. I hit a 20 millimeter I hit a bowling ball with a 20 millimeter Lottie once. That was kind of cool. Blew it up pretty good.
How many pieces was that in?
Oh, a lot, man, a lot. I did it on the show. They give credit to somebody else, but it was me shooting it. So
That's a suck, man.
Nah, it's no big deal.
You still got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I got to do it, and I can brag about it now. So, whatever.
With the show, were you under a bunch of NDAs?
Yeah, you couldn't talk about most things. I mean, you could talk about some stuff, but most of the stuff was, like if you asked me, hey, do you really hate Stephanie or something like that? I'd be like, no. Or if you asked me like, hey, what on this build, who did this? And I'd be like, man, I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff you couldn't talk about, especially you couldn't talk about any of it until it aired. And after it aired, you could talk about it a little bit, but you still had to watch what you were saying.
Were you prepared for the fame that came along with being on TV and stuff?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was kind of cool. I'll be the first to admit, man, that the show was silly and it was weird, but it was especially weird watching myself on TV. But it launched my career. It really did. I was just some gunsmith in Lafayette, Louisiana before that, and after that, I became. I hesitate to say it, but maybe a household name in the gunsmithing community. So yeah, it did me a lot of good, did me a world of good. So I mean, yeah, it was a silly show, but I got nothing but praise for being on it.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing another show?
I get asked occasionally, and if something comes along cool, I'd do it. I don't really care for being on TV, but I like making TV. I like because let's say you're doing an episode a week, and you have to do this, and you have to do all this other stuff in that 1 week. So it's really pressing you to get shit done, which is really cool. I kind of like that kind of pressure. Also, you come out of your comfort zone. It's like kind of what I was talking about before. Somebody brings in a, I don't know, 37 millimeter German pack gun, and it's all screwed up, and you got to fix it in a week. But if you screw it up, the gun's toast. So you got to do it. You got to do it right. That's pretty cool. I like that kind of stuff.
That's cool. Chris Shoemaker used to go shooting at Lafayette Shooters.
Say again?
One of my watchers, he used to go shooting at Lafayette Shooters every day.
Yeah, down in Lafayette. Yeah, I'm real familiar with Lafayette Shooters. I used to go down there and buy stuff and BS with the guys who work there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lafayette Shooter. Okay, when my niece got sick, Swamp Dog Armory, they created a Mandalorian style gun.
Yeah.
To raise money for her, and Swamp Dog Armory met the winner that won the raffle, or not the raffle, the auction for that gun at Lafayette Shooters. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, are you planning are you planning on staying at Drive Tank for a while, or do you have any inkling to start your own shop again, or do you just don't want the headache? That's a headache. I used to own a gun store.
I'm not going to get into retail. I guarantee that. No, you never know what the future holds, man.
Yeah. Yeah. With Drive Tanks, how do people make reservations to shoot like the tank guns, miniguns?
Oh, you can do it. You can call up the ranch or call up Drive Tanks. You go to the website, drivetanks.com, obviously. You can go there and schedule it, or you can call up, use the phone number there and schedule it. Just however you want.
You guys don't take walk-ins though?
Not generally, just because we're, in the past before COVID, we'd be so booked up. If you came in, it's like, hey man, I want to come shoot a tank. I'm here at the front gate. It's like, well, first off, you don't have the gate code to come in, and 2, we're backed up, so we won't be able to get to you till 4 or 5 hours down the road, and there ain't shit around us. So, this is always better to make a reservation.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to someone at Drive Tanks. Whoever runs the Drive Tanks Instagram, they're like, yeah, well, we'll put you up in the, like, yeah, she was like in the bear. I said, this one I thought I was gonna come down. I was like, I can find a hotel. She's like, there's not really a lot unless you want to drive like a far distance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the closest big city is San Antonio, and that's about 2 hours away.
Yeah, that is a drive.
Texas wise, it's not too bad, you know. But anywhere else, it'd be like, fuck, I don't want to drive 2 hours.
Like, what is the average price for like a tank round, if you know?
As far as customers shooting it, I think
Yeah.
it's about $1,000.
A grand?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Just for
Yeah. Though that covers a lot of area. It covers, the shell, or it covers the powder. It covers the primer assemblies we make. It covers the projectile, which we have to have made. It covers the wear and tear on the gun, which, big round, big wear and tear. It covers my time being out there doing that stuff. It covers the time to clean it. It covers a whole bunch of stuff. So,
Space Texan wants to know any new combat vehicles in mind for the future.
nothing that I know of. There's nothing I know of. I mean, we get offers all the time. Hey man, I got a tank. You want to buy this? Hey man, but I can't think anything that we have that we really have to have right now. Myself, I'd like to have a German 234 Puma, but I don't even know if any of those still exist. So and if it would, I couldn't afford it anyway.
Yeah. Thank you, Rich, for the super chat. Flying Rich is the guest that appeared the most out of any other guest at my show, and he says I should take him to drive tanks.
Yeah, go for it, man. Come on down.
Yeah, I think the Puma. I think there are a couple still alive Pumas, but I think they're in Europe.
I'm sure. Yeah, I've never actually seen one other than pictures and models and stuff like that. But it's a cool looking vehicle. It really is neat with a 20 millimeter on top of it, the Flak 38. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, Space Texans have always wanted a half track.
Yeah, we got one here. We have 251 here.
Yeah,
actually, we got two of them. So
yeah, the Pumas are freaking incredible, though.
Yeah, they're really neat. I just like the wheel system. 8 wheels and you're turning, and they all do their own little thing. It's really cool.
Yeah, but I don't think there's that many. I don't think there. Let me put it this way. I don't think there's any in private hands, all in like museum hands.
I'm sure, yeah, because something like a Puma, it wasn't real interesting militarily at the end of the war. So it'd be like, hey, we got a Puma. You want to study it? Nah, scrap it. Kind of thing. Which is weird because they got a lot of newer vehicles that have the 8-wheeled chassis, kind of like a Puma. So then maybe they should have studied it harder.
Yeah, maybe they should have. Yeah, they destroyed a lot of vehicles after.
Oh yeah, tons, man, tons.
Yeah, and every once in a while they'll find one sitting around somewhere
in a bog or something like that, or in some German guy's basement.
Yeah, I know they found some German vehicle, World War II vehicle, and a bunker that they didn't even know existed about 2 years ago. Yeah,
that's cool. Well, they found they had a German guy who had a friggin' Panther tank in his garage or something like that. Nobody knew about. So I think the German government confiscated it, and he brought them to court or something like that, and they ended up having to give it back to him.
Yeah, Flying Rich says all the Zeros got scrapped. That is true.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 flyable Zeros that I know of, and they're original Zeros. There are a couple in museums, and there's one actually in the Mitsubishi building in I think Tokyo. Interesting.
They have I live near the Uvard Hazy Air and Space Museum, which is part of the National Air and Space Museum.
Yeah,
and they have a very unique thing in there. It's called it's like a cherry blossom.
Oh, the Oka? Yeah. It's basically a buzz bomb with a guy inside of it, right?
Yeah. It's like a freaking nailing few. They found it. They got it off a sub, but it was basically just a. It was basically a missile with the cockpit.
Yeah, it's basically a V1 that the guy sat in, and you go bonsai and run into stuff. Yeah, it's called the Oka. I know that because when I lived in Okinawa, I lived near Kadena, and they actually had an Oka base right there.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was kind of neat, man. They had some neat stuff in Okinawa. It was a really cool place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to where the hell was I? I've been all over the country. In Japan, I have no idea. I've been, oh man, I don't know. I wasn't somewhere in
No
Japan
biggie.
working. It was just Osaka. I went to
Oh
Osaka.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have no idea why I blinked out on that.
I like Japan. I like Japan a lot. They don't have any guns, which is kind of weird. But I mean, other than that, Japan's a pretty cool place. It's just stupid expensive.
Oh yeah, man. Like,
Yeah,
I was just passing through for work.
yeah, yeah. It's a cool place. Thanks, Phil. Cool. I got some mail. Yeah.
Awesome. Maybe it's a new tank in a box.
No, it's pretty light for that. Actually, I think it's a part to fix a 50 cal barrel.
Oh, nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, pretty happy about that one.
Yeah. So, before I let you go, is there anything that people should know about drive tanks, about you, about anything?
Oh wow, that covers a lot of ground.
I know that's the gotcha question.
Yeah, right. As far as drive tanks, I mean, there's really nothing I can say other than come check us out and see what we're about. You'll if you're a gun guy, you'll dig it. 100% guaranteed on that.
Yeah.
As far as me, man, I'm just a mellow, regular guy. If you see me, come tell me hi. I'll tell you hi back.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I didn't know that Japan is the capital of vending machines.
I didn't know that either. It doesn't surprise me though. You'd be out like in a field with nothing, and there'd be a road in front of the field, and there'd be a vending machine there. So I'm unsurprised by it.
Yeah, they do have a vending machine. They have like whole entire restaurants with vending machines.
Yeah, ramen restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they just have vending machines and nothing else.
Yep. Go in, pay your little yen, and get your food out.
Yeah.
It's a crazy country, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's a very unique country.
Yeah.
Very unique people.
Yeah.
They have they have a big like, I guess it's like a throwback to like the 50s type culture.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they have all kinds of different subcultures in Japan. I mean, they have that kind of stuff. They have the thing that really killed me was the guys who had the vans, and they'd trick them out with fins and wings and
all
kinds of crap on them. If you're ever curious about it, look it up online. I have no idea what the culture is called, but it's crazy looking stuff. Or the little mopeds with the big, huge exhaust pipes coming out of them, and they have so many different subcultures, and they got a lot of weirder subcultures too. So be advised on that.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Yeah.
What, maybe that's for Fireside Chats After Dark.
There you
Some
go,
of their subcultures. They do have.
They got some weird stuff, man. They got some weird stuff, but I still love them. They're great people, man. They're really friendly. They're real nice.
Yeah. Some of the Japanese stuff is just bizarre, but yeah, they are very nice. They're very respectful.
Yeah.
My kid and I do a little bit of ham radio stuff, just messing around, and we actually talked to somebody from Okinawa.
Oh, that's cool.
Ham radio. It was really cool. It was I don't speak Japanese, and he spoke broken English, but it was still really cool to talk to someone through a ham radio.
I used to be decent at it. I don't really remember much other than Hanashimash and Skoshi, and that's about it. Biro deso kudasai is one beer, please. Each biro kudasai. I think I said one beer, please, something like that.
Yeah, in the military, you have to know that. I think that's required.
Well, yeah, I used to know how to ask for a beer in like 10 different languages. That was pretty handy.
Yeah, wherever you are in the world, you can.
Yeah, Nung Bia Cup. That's Thai. I spent a lot of time in Thailand, so my Thai was actually better than my Japanese.
Yeah, I lived in Manila for a
Oh,
while.
yeah, the PI, man. PI is cool. I don't know any Tagalog, man. I tried to learn it in Tagalog. They speak it so fast. I just like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand anything.
I mean, you really don't need to know a lot of it because almost
Yeah,
everyone speaks English.
whenever I went somewhere overseas, I always kind of made it an effort to learn at least a little bit of their language. So I always kind of figured it was like a kind of a respect thing. It's not. I don't want to go over there and be the ugly American or something like that.
Yeah. I try to learn a lot, but I worked over there in a
Yeah,
business setting. Like all the companies who are there, they require everyone to speak English. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like they're not allowed to speak Tagalog.
Yeah.
They have to speak English, which I thought was kind of weird that they mandated. Oh, you can't speak.
Well, English is pretty much the world language. I mean, I think the closest thing next to it would be French, or maybe at this point, maybe it's up and coming Chinese or something. But
Yeah,
English is the way to go.
yeah. All the signs are English. All the shows are in English. So
Mhm.
English is basically what they speak.
Yeah.
Plus, there's so many different dialects of Tagalog.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that sometimes they really can't communicate to use English to
Oh,
bridge
yeah,
the
yeah.
gap. And there's Tangalish. Funny, if
Oh,
you get the
yeah,
AT machine over
Tagalog.
there, you have a Tagalog, English, or Tangalish. Your three choices, which I thought was kind of weird. It's like going to AT machine and seeing Spanglish over here.
Yeah,
You-
yeah. Well, we get a lot of them. I mean, over here, we're pretty much North Mexico. So, yeah, we get a lot of that. Hey, English or Mexican or Spanish,
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. All right, so we've been on for a little bit over an hour. This went by. I
Oh,
want to
cool.
thank you so much for coming on. Everyone out
No
there,
problem, man.
go to crumpy.com, find out what's going on with me. I got a bunch of really interesting leaks dropping here shortly. I want to give my guest, Glenn Fleming, currently working at Drive Tanks, the final word before we get out of here.
Ah, crap, man. I wasn't prepared for a speech.
Yeah,
Y'all
we
just have-
always give you the final word. I mean, you can plug anything, say hey,
Oh, hell,
or you can just say bye. It's up to you.
Yeah, y'all have a good day, guys. Y'all enjoy yourselves.
All right, that is it. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye.